This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 666. Yes, it's the Devil Show. Hi, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today we hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer, plus the feature into an interview where I talk to Ben Bloom of the fantastic Seattle instrumental band POLYRHYTHMICS. Oh, and Mike's Daily Podcast. This is something that to those of you who watch award shows, you probably can understand. Mike's Daily Podcast. There was some lip syncing going on at that country music award show. I know that doesn't surprise many of you, but so people use the word "so" too much, don't they? Just say needle pulling thread after every time they say that, and they'll get so mad they'll want to say, "What are you doing?" Mike's Daily Podcast. Yes, the interview portion of our show with POLYRHYTHMICS will be starting in about 12 minutes. Mike's or so. Daily. Dang it, I said it again. Podcast. So, yeah. Also, we'll use that word. Also, this news. So, 666 is also the accumulated age of 11 Liam Neesons. Actually, no, wait, I don't think that's right, because Liam is actually 61. Can you believe it? That guy is eternally young. He's amazing. And Sean at Costco. Who the heck is that, Mike? Well, there's a guy at the checkout line, right? The cashier, register man, whatever you want to call him. He's checking people out. And this guy he worked the room. He was Mr. Friendly. Everybody was his best friend. They're like, Sean, hey, Sean, here's my Costco card, Sean. And he's, ringing up everybody's totals, scanning everybody's items. And he's particularly smooth with the women, especially if they have kids with them. He's like, hey, buddy. He's talking to the kids. The kids love him. Sean, I love Sean. Sean's better than Santa. It is that kind of thing going on with Sean. And then he gets to, and I'm like excited about Sean. I'm like, Sean's really cool. And then I get to him, and he's like, hey, man, what's up? All the charisma gone, all the charm. Hey, man. It's like he gets to me, and I guess he's hit a pit stop. This is where he can kick it into the lower gears. And not even, because I'm just a guy. I'm a bald guy in my 40s who could care even more less than me. So he is kind of just giving me that. And I'm kind of like chopped liver at this point. I'm feeling like that. And I'm like, I don't get the Sean treatment. I didn't say that out loud, but that's what I was thinking. And as soon as I'm through the line, and he's even kind of actually rude to me. He's kind of like, hey, man, you got to give me your card. I'm like, yeah, here's the card. All right, if you don't give me the card, then I can't give you your stuff that you bought. And all those boxes of Kleenex. Do you really need that much? Well, I am a divorcee. Yeah, and then as soon as I'm through the line, he's back to being Sean again. Hey, buddy. Hey, little kid. How's soccer going? All right. Hey, mama, you're looking hot. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think he can actually say that at Costco and get into trouble. But, yeah, so that was my Sean experience. And then the interview, by the way, is in 11 minutes. I said, hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the shop supervisor. I want to meet Sean. Yeah, Sean is really cool. He pours his enthusiasm into his job. Unless you are a bald 40-year-old guy, then he sees you. Well, come to think of it, Sean is bald too. So maybe he sees you as a mirror, and then it reflects his own cold dart heart back into his face. And that's what happens. Mike Matthews, that's like so mean. I'm just psychoanalyzing Sean. Oh, okay, that sounds like fun. If it doesn't sound like fun, the interview's in 10 minutes. Look who else just walked in. Hi, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, being that this is show 666, we should be on the lookout for Damien. Don't bring up that scary 70s movie, The Omen. Yikes. Stop. I'm just kidding, Mike. Yeah, some people are really into numerology. Numbers mean things, and that particular number gets in the Bible a couple times referring to the devil, and there's all kinds of theories as to why that would refer to the devil. And yes, there's a bunch of people that are a little over-obsessed, shall we say, with that sort of stuff. But at any rate, that's where we are. Hey, I'm happy. We're well on our way to getting to 700. And then we'll be in the 700 club, and then we can talk like this. Why would we talk like that? That's a good question. Mike, the devil just walked into the last place on earth, and I'm throwing holy water on him.
I'm melting. Give evil a chance.
Mike, the devil's dead. Good has triumphed over evil. That holy water's pretty effective. Yeah, it is. You keep some on you at all times? Yeah, kind of a Van Helsing type guy. It's amazing. You clean floors and defeat evil demonic forces. Yeah, that's me. Wonderful. Yeah, yesterday's show, I got a little starstruck because one of the actresses from one of those horrible KFC Mom Vine commercials showed up here. Oh my gosh, she's come back in.
Hi, Mike. I did a bunch of Pilates, and I feel really great. Now I need to feed my kids a bunch of fattening, horrible food.
Oh, the devil's back again.
Oh my God, why did you just throw water all over me, sir? I mean, I know I needed a little spritzer, but oh no, was that holy water?
KFC commercial mom was the devil too? Shocking. Also shocking was Rascal Flatts apparently lip sunk. That is the conjugation of that verb, isn't it? Yeah, if there was something off about their performance Sunday night at the ACMs, rumors began swirling that the band appeared to be singing to a backup track, or worse yet, not singing live at all. During the appearance on the show, the band admitted they were lip syncing their hit Rewind. Why? Who still does that? That's insane. I thought we got through all that in the 90s with the Milli Vanilli. And now this is going on? They revealed on both Twitter and Facebook that lead singer Gary Levox had lost his voice shortly before stepping on stage. Well, you know what? I mean, the guy, Gary Levox, is always, you know how Rascal Flatts, they sing, let's say they sing the high end of those songs. Gary's gotta be my age. He can't still hit those high notes, can he? But apparently he lost his voice. After having performed several shows earlier in the week, Gary lost his voice, they said in a statement. So instead of canceling our commitment to do the show, we made a last-minute decision to lip sync. We've never done it before, and we're obviously not good at it. We look forward to singing live again in the very near future. This according to eonline.com. Rascal Flatts, what hurts the most is being lied to by you. Anyway, what do you think about that whole debacle? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. And, oh my gosh, the interview is like only a minute away. Where did all the time go? Yes, we're going to get to it a little early. Only 9 minutes into the show today, we're going to get to the Into It interview. So that's very cool, because this band is insanely cool. I also want to let you know that we have if you'd like to be on the show, if you also have a band, please email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com, and I can be talking to you. And there's also, we also need a sponsor, so if you'd like to sponsor the show, you can email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. There's also the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, a phenomenal spot to find links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. And subscribe to us in iTunes, and when I post a new show, you'll get it immediately. There's also a link to where to find us on Facebook, the Facebook page. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a new show, share that with your friends so that more people find out about us. There's also Mike's Daily Podcast Radio. Oh, in fact, if you're hearing this on Mike's Daily Podcast Radio, there's not an interview coming up, and you'll hear some kind of song, because there's a little bit of a different format on the Mike's Daily Podcast Radio, which you can only hear. Well, you can hear it on radionomy.com, but it's also through my website at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. They're on the left-hand side. Also on the left-hand side, a link to where to support the show. The Amazon deal of the day, click on that and buy something at a great discount, and that helps out the show. There's also the blog, the Daily Podcast Picture, and links to where to find us on Twitter, YouTube, Yelp, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Mixcloud, and Stitcher at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Into an interview. This is Ben.
Ben, it's Mike Matthews from Mike's Daily Podcast.
How's it going, Mike?
Good, how are you? What's happening?
Not much. Thanks for the call today.
You're very welcome. I guess you're in the middle of traveling quite a bit, huh?
We're actually about to leave town. We're leaving tomorrow morning to start our 4-week tour to New Orleans. And, just kind of running around town doing some last-minute stuff before we hit the road, and we're ready to go.
Wow. And what's your mode of transportation?
We travel in a Sprinter van.
A Sprinter van?
Yeah, it's a 2010 Mercedes Sprinter van. It's a large vehicle. It's about 18 feet long and about 10 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
And it carries 9 members of the POLYRHYTHMICS down the road with all of our gear.
That's amazing. Yeah, because I was wondering. I mean, you're not just a like a little 4-piece band. I mean, you've got... all right, I'm going to run down the list. Let's see. There's you, Ben Bloom, on guitar.
That's right.
Yeah, you might have to check. Now, this is the list from your Bandcamp page. So
Okay.
it should be up to date, I'm guessing.
It is, yeah.
Jason Gray's on bass. Grant Schroff is on drums.
Correct.
Nathan Spicer on keyboards.
That's right.
Lala Bello.
Lalo Bayo.
Lalo Bayo on percussion. And Scott Morning on trumpet. Art Brown on saxophone and flute. And Elijah Clark on trombone.
You got it.
Now, does Elijah wear a lot of white collared shirts? I noticed, I was watching the KEXP video. And is that him playing? Maybe I've got the wrong person.
Yeah, that's him. He's playing trombone on that one. Yeah, I believe he's wearing a white shirt in that video. Like most members of the POLYRHYTHMICS, we wear whatever's clean.
Does anybody have a particularly strange fashion sense that you're like, wow, okay?
You know, I think everybody is pretty, has their own style. I think that Lalo is definitely the most stylish member of the band. For sure.
Lalo.
We used to put him, when we first started the band, we used to put him up at the front of the stage just because he was the best looking guy. So we wanted to make him the front and center spokesman for the band. But what we realized is that we couldn't really communicate on stage in that setup. So we had to put him in the back, regrettably, because he's a good looking dude.
Communication is absolutely essential in a band like yours, where there's so much going on during your songs.
It's true.
I'm just amazed. I watched the KEXP video, like I said, and by the way, did they use like 50 cameras? That is the most... It was like better than watching something on TV. I mean, just the amount, the way they cover it. And then they like zoomed in on somebody's pedal. Like, this is what they do when they're getting that sound. They're pressing that thing with their foot. The foot pedal. They're very...
Yeah, KEXP definitely has it going on. They know what they're doing. They do a lot of awesome music podcasts and a lot of awesome, video shoots. They had, I think, about 6 or 7 cameras in that room. That room was about a 15 by 15 foot room, so it's a pretty small room. And, they definitely caught every nuance of everything, didn't they?
They did. I'd never seen a radio station do that. I mean, I think I've seen a Canadian station do something similar, but KEXP did such a good job. I really was impressed.
They're definitely, in our opinion, they've been really big supporters of the POLYRHYTHMICS, but they're definitely, I think, leaders in the sort of independent music scene as far as radio broadcasting is going, and we're lucky to have them in our town. Yeah,
right there in Seattle.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of questions about Seattle and you there and the whole music scene and all that, but I mean, everybody always asks about the Seattle music scene.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's the thing. I mean, what has been your experience with it?
My experience is that after traveling over, pretty much all over the world, I've been to, not everywhere, but I've been to just about everywhere where there's a purported music scene. I think that Seattle, maybe secondary to New Orleans, has probably the strongest music scene in the country at the moment. We have a kind of a unique situation in the Northwest in the sense that we are geographically challenged or geographically isolated, depending on how you look at it. And so we have a little bubble of amazing talent that tends to stay pretty close to home. So we have a really, really vibrant and eclectic and extremely talented artistic scene as well as music scene right here in the city. And it's a little, we're kind of a city that a little bit shuns outsiders because we're so protective of our own internal goodness, or maybe scared to let it go. I don't know I don't really know. But the music scene here is just incredible. I mean, we have some amazing jazz talent here in this town. Almost any night of the week, you can go see, 4 or 5 improv, oriented experimental music or jazz or funk or R&B music shows. Most of them which don't cost that much. Unfortunately, that's sort of an issue as far as paying musicians, but the amount of talent here and the amount of creativity is just unbelievable, which is, one of the reasons I moved here from New York about 13 years ago now.
And like, what's a cool place that I should definitely check out next time I go to Seattle?
The place that's going on every night of the week that is the place for musicians and anybody who appreciates good music in Seattle and wants a taste of the funk and jazz sort of scene in Seattle is the Sea Monster Lounge on 45th Street.
Sea Monster Lounge. Oh, I've heard.
Hands down, that place is definitely a snapshot of everything that's great about Seattle.
Excellent. All right, I'm putting that on my list for sure.
Do it.
I was going to play, is it Pupusa Strut?
Papusa Strut, yeah.
Papusa Strut. And tell me how did this one come about?
Well, that song, the grooves and stuff, and a lot of the tunes are sort of co-written. That one was a piece that I wrote with Scott, our trumpet player. And a lot of times the grooves will come to me while I'm driving, or we're going for a walk or something like that. So a lot of times I'll kind of write the grooves by singing them into my phone, and then I'll kind of transpose them and bring them into a rehearsal where Scott and I kind of hash things out. The title of that song comes at most of the band lives in an area of Seattle called West Seattle, and West Seattle is a nice little isolated community in the north in Seattle itself, and there's a ton of musicians that live here. And we have El Salvadorian bakery right down the street from where we rehearse. And they make pupusas, which are just a delicious sort of savory pastry-like corn-based full meal in kind of like a pancake type apparatus.
Uh-huh.
And we're big fans of it. And sort of after you eat them, they're pretty heavy, so you kind of have a little bit of you kind of walk a little bit differently after you eat one. That's where the pupusa strut comes from.
Aha! There is a dance that goes with this song, and it involves loading up on pupusas and then just trying to dance while you're listening to the song. Because you'll want to...
that's one interpretation of it for sure.
You'll want to dance when you're hearing... Well, your music is very... I am a horrible dancer, and suddenly I was able to... I felt the need to dance when I heard your music. It's very good. All right.
So thanks. That's our goal.
And this is from the album called Libra Stripes.
That's right.
All right, cool. Well, we're gonna talk some more, and let me just throw in here, in areas here in California you're going to be at. Well, this Thursday you're at Hot Monk Tavern in Sebastopol. Also Friday you'll be at the Loft Tahoe at State Line in Nevada. Saturday at the Boom Boom Room in San Francisco. And Sunday, you're at Harlow's nightclub in Sacramento. And then you're heading down to Los Angeles. You are hitting someplace every night. It's insane.
Yeah, we're working a lot on this tour. I mean, our goal, with the band this big, it's really, it's a challenge economically as well as sort of mentally to be on the road for this long. And so we really try to maximize our time. So if we're not playing a show, we're using our time usually to record or to do radio station in studios. We're a working band, and we want to play. We're hungry to be out there.
Excellent. Well, it's Ben Bloom and POLYRHYTHMICS. And this is their song Papusa Strut on Mike's Daily Podcast. Yeah, Papusa Strut by the group POLYRHYTHMICS as we go outside the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. More interview and more music from POLYRHYTHMICS tomorrow. I think that is the first instrumental band we have had on this show. Gosh, we're getting so dang classy.
And here's today's podcast picture.
What can I do to reduce the class level of the show? Kate Upton's hot. Did that work? To see a picture of POLYRHYTHMICS, you can see all the guys, the 8 guys in the band. The picture is there now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. See Ben Bloom and the guys with POLYRHYTHMICS.
Mike Matthews, I really enjoyed that music. It made me want to dance and sway.
That's great. You know, you can dance however way you want to. You can leave your cares behind because your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, they're no friends of mine.
That was a beautiful poem, Mike Matthews. Did you just make that up?
Yes, I did. Chely was quoting an 80s band called Men Without Heads! Thanks a lot, Floyd the Floorman. You're welcome. Mike, someone just showed up here outside of the last place on earth. Look, it is the country music / pop band Rascal Flatts. Wow, Rascal Flatts, everyone. Wow. And look, they're going to sing us a song right now. Let's listen. That was great. Okay, yeah. It'll be nice to have some real musicians back again tomorrow. POLYRHYTHMICS, part 2 of our Into an Interview on tomorrow's show. And we will also hear from Benita the Rodeo Queen, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike Matthews, I just met Sean from Costco.
Oh, yeah? What was that like?
It was like really awesome talking to him. But then he got into a fight with Liam Neeson.
What? Why?
He didn't like the way he was trying to be all charming with the women, but he wasn't being nice to Liam Neeson. So he got upset, and he brought 10 of his brothers along with him.
And their collective age is also the number of the effizode today.
What? Who cares? I got 11 Liam Neeson's phone numbers.
As long as you didn't get Sean's phone number.
I did.
Ugh.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh no, was that holy water?